Hi everyone, welcome to our new moon video. I'm Emmeline Muldoon and I'm here today again with Jim Delacolli.
Good morning.
Hi everyone, we are excited to get together again to talk to you about the energy for the month ahead or the 2 weeks ahead with the new moon. This is a really exciting new moon because I think we are finally pushing forwards. It's been a lot of energy of dormant, of slow, of frustration. So at the moment now, what we have is the new and exciting, and we're going to show you why by looking at the chart and what we can see by interpreting it. But I just wanted to say that now you're moving and you should be feeling like you're moving ahead, and even if you're not ready, it's time to go. So get ready. And I'm going to find a chart here to share with you. This is the new moon in Pisces, and it's at 2:06 a.m. on February the 20th, and that's Eastern Standard Time. So convert to your time zone. This is the chart for the full new moon, and as we often say, this is the chart that I've made for Charlotte, North Carolina. So don't look at the houses, don't get bogged down by looking at which planet is in which house, because that will change depending on where in the world you are. But the planets in the signs and the aspects that they make will not change. So we'll concentrate on talking to you about those.
We again have that one half of the chart have all the planets located in, and so you need to be aware that it's going to really give you a chance to really focus on wherever Pisces falls in your chart. As you can see, one half's empty and one half's got all the planets. So the calm before the storm, there's going to be a lot of change coming. And this Pisces is where we kind of need to put it all together or come to a complete understanding. So we're hoping you take this time to really manifest from that Piscean perspective, find where it is in your chart, and hopefully we help you get to where you need to go.
Yeah. So as always, when you get a new moon, that's the first thing to sort of look at. And it's always good to look at the chart to see and understand what we're talking about. But when you get the sun and moon together in a chart, that means it's a new moon. So if in your chart, the sun and moon are together, you're a new moon baby. So as you can see down here, the new moon is in the sign of Pisces. That's Pisces. So what if you look at where 1 degree of Pisces is in your chart, that is where the new moon is falling for you. And obviously when you look at new moons, it's good to see how they are affecting you and your chart, because it gives you the more specific understanding and interpretation. So which part of your life are you starting afresh, growing, planting the seed? A new moon is a really great time to manifest, to think about what you want to grow, what you want to start in that area. So find where it is in your chart. And if you need help with that, again, as always, you can write in the comments and we're happy to help guide you so you can understand which part of your chart is being activated by this lovely new moon.
Yes. And Saturn's going to be right there with it. So we're really going to get on ourselves and others to make sure we do our part, as we can come to a really deep understanding or perspective and maybe knock the deception out of here and start figuring this thing out and get to the truth and start manifesting the life that we've always deserved. So that's what we're going to work on this time. So
yeah. And Pisces, if a new moon in Pisces any year is a great time to manifest, isn't it? Because Pisces is that connection to the things we can't see. It's the spiritual, intuitive, dreamy energy. So in terms of a new moon, you're connecting to what you can pick up on, what you can sense, you're putting in and using it. And yeah, great time for growing, manifesting, or visualizing what you want to grow in terms of taking the steps and also using the mind as well to think about what you want to do.
And I have a quote that I got yesterday, and it's not exact, but it was from Joseph Campbell, probably one of the guys that changed my life way more for the better. And it was like to the effect of, you can say reality, but you better put a question mark on in front of it and behind it, because it is just that. And so I think Pisces is where we come to understand how the universe works. And then I don't even want to use reality there. It just is. So I love that he said that, because he was so knowledgeable in ancient civilizations, and he came to an understanding that we all can use, which is question everything. So and that's really what I think this moon's about for all of us. So
Oh, that's really good. I love that quote with this new moon. That's actually a really good idea. I love putting quotes and music to charts.
yes.
See, oh, this chart reminds me of this song or this quote. Yeah, that's really good, because you see we have 4 planets in Pisces. So there's a stellium in Pisces of this chart. It's not just the sun and the moon, because we've got Venus and Neptune there as well. So that really pours in on that Piscean energy. So that quote is so true. It really does apply beautifully to this new moon energy. And having Venus in Pisces, Venus loves being in Pisces, so that even, I feel like that just makes the Piscean energy even stronger with this new moon. And then Neptune, that's, people sometimes say, oh, it's the fog, it's the confusion, it's not understanding, but it is also the higher love. It goes beyond Venus and it steps up and makes love even bigger. So it's almost like the love that you the biggest love you could ever imagine. It goes so much further beyond than just what Venus represents, love and beauty. So we have Venus in Pisces, and then we have even bigger love and opportunity and kindness and niceness in Pisces. So it just magnifies that feeling of happy, daydreamy, beautiful connection. So really drawing, I think when we're thinking about this new moon and what we want to grow, what do I intuitively want to grow and manifest? And also, what do I really love? What do I really love and I want to grow more of? Because that is also a really good thing to think about with this.
Yeah, and then we have the planet of Saturn right there with it.
Yeah.
And it's late in the sign of Aquarius. So Saturn is trying to get the truth of the universe, and that's going to help us here, as you you described very well the higher love and the love of Venus and Neptune. That's how it is. This is the potential how love is. Let Saturn help you break down the mold that maybe has been created. Let things fall apart, and work hard on what you believe love can be. So I love that comment. And the only other thing I'm going to add on within this realm is Pluto's at the last degree of Capricorn, getting ready to go into Aquarius. So it's showing us what's going on. I'm looking for, and this may sound like I've contradicted it at all, but it needs to fall apart so we can put it together in its most pure form. And I'm looking for that to happen between now and the end of March. So let's see what happens. I don't want to really go in detail, because to you it might mean something different than it might to me, which might mean something different to Emily. So know that it's you finding you and loving you first. You've got to do that, and I think that's what this is all about. If you don't love yourself, you truly cannot love something else, and you can't love yourself till you find the truth about yourself. So that's the potential here. And so in truly finding yourself and loving yourself, probably going to be some things that fall away or get removed, and do not fear that.
I
Do not.
sneezed, so that must be true.
Bless you. Good. That was good. That was on call there.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the truth right there. Yeah, so it makes me think about because Jupiter's in Aries as well. And I kind of having a lot of Libra energy. I love it when there's a planet like Jupiter in Aries. And what I kind of think about in my mind when I think about Jupiter in Aries is when you're on the aeroplane and they say, if you have a child with you, make sure you put on your oxygen mask first. Like get yourself going, make yourself the leader so that you can then get everything else done and taken care of. And as a Libra, a stellium person, a Libra sun as well, you might have this, Jim, because you have a Libra sun. That I always hear that and think that sounds very unnatural to me that I would look at my child and then just take care of myself. Or anyone else that was you were traveling with that was maybe in need, you would think of helping them. But it's very true, and you do have to put yourself in that situation a lot of the time, and that is what this chart's saying. What you just said about you have to learn to love yourself first, because learning to know what you need and what you love and what you want is going to help move forwards. And then, of course, with the Jupiter as well, the Jupiter energy in this chart, it's really saying, you need to put yourself in that leadership position and understand what you want, because you need to be the leader of your life and take the action to move forwards to help with everything else and everyone else.
Yeah, and then with the Piscean energy, you look at those different ends of the spectrum of self-imprisonment or hospitalization or victimization. No, we want you on the other side of empowerment, total understanding and total like total or complete awareness of it all. And that's the potential here. So we want you on that side of get to know yourself here. Then the reality will become way clearer as you find yourself. And that's where we want you to go. We need you there.
Yeah. Yeah, remember with Pisces, it's connection. It's being able to connect without trying sometimes. So as well with this, you might want to remember to set some boundaries with this new moon as well, because sometimes when there's a lot of Pisces in your chart, a lot of Pisces around you, other people's energy can just flow in because you're able to pick up on, connect with, and be in tune with others so easily that it can let in all of the other people's energy around you. So be sure to stay true to what you like and what you want, and be firm about boundaries as well.
Yes. The next two new moons will be in Aries, about beginning. So really come to a completion point. Ask the universe to help to get you to understand all of it, not just portions of it. So in these next two new moons in Aries, which is rare, it'll be about where are we then going to take it. So you're in that completion phase. Make that reality as clear and as focused as you can get it.
What's been really important about these patterns of new moons is that this is the fourth month now of a new moon being at 1 degree of the sign. Yes. And at 1 degree, we're at the beginning. So it's really sort of highlighting and doubling up the feeling of new opportunity, new growth, new beginning. And then what happens is the next new moon after this, the new moon in Aries, is at 1 degree. And then like Jim just said, we have two moons in Aries. So what does Aries do? It's the first sign, it's the beginning, it's growth. So it's just really huge time now for growing, beginnings, changing, moving on.
Yes,
very much. We tried to warn you about this in January. You're going to miss those quiet months where we're not moving forwards.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. So, excuse me. Definitely that feeling of growth and finally being able to see, okay, now we're starting what we're starting. And this new moon at the end of the month, it's fallen towards the end of February. That means that March is just around the corner, and we've got a lot going on in March that we will talk about in the next video, I'm sure.
Yep. The other conjunctions I had were Chiron, Jupiter, and we already talked about the rest. We talked Neptune, Venus, and Chiron, Jupiter, and Aries.
Mm-hmm.
I talked a lot about here it's time to come to a better understanding, or take yourself and I always look at Chiron as a bridge over troubled waters. But what you see on the other side is where you know you need to go. And until you build that bridge to get over the troubled waters, where you know kind of that's how it can be or is, you can't get there, right? And so work on and really get after it. Remember, it's in Aries, the building of that bridge to get to a better place. That's where we're headed, but things are going to have to be let go of. And so I think this conjunction can really help us find that passion, and even bigger than that, the will to get that bridge built and the strength to get that bridge built, because Mars rules Aries, to get to that other side where you know is way more beneficial to you and to all of us.
Yeah, and I think also with Chiron being in the sign of Aries, with Jupiter, it's a real contradiction. It's a kind of contradictory energy, isn't it? Because Jupiter in Aries is saying, push forwards, be the leader. And Chiron in Aries is saying, well, in some way, you're going to feel like you have to work on something before you can push forwards and be the leader, because it's you've got to overcome this. So there is a sort of a contradiction with them two together. This new moon is an opportunity to say, you know, I need, if I can figure out this and how to push myself forwards, it's going to really move.
Good point. Good point. And then I got a square of Uranus and Neptune. And
yeah.
I'm sorry, no, Uranus and Mercury.
Yeah.
Sorry, Uranus and Mercury, two communication planets. And so, you know, what I'm looking at here is finding the truth and then building the base of whatever we've been taught, whether it's been a lie or the truth, about how we make a better tomorrow. Very key here. Whether you need to study or whether you need to speak up, this square is going to ask for communication to improve. So watch in your own life, take this, and you know, don't be afraid of the truths that you've come to over the last, you know, months, years, past few years. But don't also be afraid to search into things that might make you change how you see or understand things. This square, I don't like squares normally, but I like this square here because it's about us in a communicative way, figuring out how to build, in my opinion, the bigger effect here is Uranus and Taurus, build that base to withstand or hold up that which we're going to become, or that which is. That'll also include bringing back things that have worked that we've kind of dismissed, but we can bring them back and know that there's a truth deep within with some of those things that will be universal. So don't be afraid, or don't be shy about bringing back things, and I'm going to say, stating the obvious here, of things that actually do work, and quit letting somebody with all these numbers or letters behind their name maybe be the authority here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting square, this one. And the other thing I was thinking about this square as well is, you know, you might hear something unexpected out of the blue that you might then have to process, think about, work on. Because it could be Uranus is the unexpected sometimes, but there might be some unexpected news or unexpected development, something that you've learned that comes up that then you are working on in order to find out a way to move forward with the
and patience. As you were talking, with you saying that, I agree 100%. Don't forget to throw patience in there too. Sometimes we don't want to do that with Mercury.
So, yeah, that's true. That's why I always say to my children when they're when we were at Disney and when we're in line at the US Post Office, put your patient pants on.
Yep.
We're going to be here a while. Yes, there is actually an element of patience, especially with Jupiter in Aries as well, because that can be the impulsive energy, can't it?
Yeah.
So definitely it comes up twice in this chart. we need to, oh, and actually Sun Saturn as well can make you think of patience, couldn't it?
Yes,
Because, with the sun hanging up, so Sun and Saturn coming together, they come together um once a year. They get the Saturn and the Sun will meet up, and they're meeting up in this chart. And that is it can feel a bit like the slow burn sometimes, that you've got to work on this, and you've got to have the tenacity and the stamina to keep going with
yes.
it. So these dreams are there for the long-term growth.
And then the last I'll throw in there is, and I'm just going to say it directly. There's going to be some ugliness. Don't dismiss it. That's going to emerge. The reality of what has been created versus the reality of what is. They're going to oppose each other tremendously here. So there's going to be nothing out of the realm here that's going to come that I want any of us to just dismiss. Consider it all, because there's going to be nothing. A lot of things may shock a lot of people. I've done a lot of work, so I'm not that too worried, but you're going to be thrown a curve with some of this stuff that emerges. This reality is not what you think, and it's not even close to what the real world is. So prepare yourself for that.
Yeah, well, I think you're referring to the Pluto there coming
Yes.
up to the end. So because this
Yep.
is the end now of the Capricorn age, and we're almost at the age of Aquarius here. So there's definitely new beginnings, but in order to get to those new beginnings, the old Capricorn ways has to finish and break down.
Remember, that's a 248-year cycle.
Mm.
So we are breaking that, which is the things that need to be broken down that aren't good for the masses. We're breaking those down. So
Yeah.
at the end of Pluto's run in any sign, we get probably the ugliness of the truth. We got it in 08 and we covered it up. We got it again in 2016, 17, 18. We covered it up, and now we can't cover it up. So it's coming. And with this square of Uranus and Mercury, and then with the trine, which we haven't talked about, which we will in a second, Mars and Mercury, now it's time to go, all right, it is what it is. Let me call it for as it is. You're going to have to admit that you've been a fool or you've been deceived. There's no problems here with that. We just need to start the process of, as we talked earlier, knowing ourselves to move forward. This trine between Mercury and Neptune, they're both in communication signs, so I love it. You have the ability here to learn with passion, so do not fear to break through or to have the willpower to stand up and say what you think and what you believe. To attract, if you do that, you'll attract what you need in life. Mm-hmm. and you'll also learn more, but don't be afraid to teach and to communicate that which you figured out, but also don't be afraid to close your mouth and use both ears and learn what others have figured out. Take that and move forward. This is a tremendous time here to sort through all the chaos that's going on, because there is a ton of it, and we're in that calm before the storm, as Emmeline said, because this thing, you're going to have to be taking action. And I mean, it's going to be from a serious perspective of you talk about go. We got go with the gas pedal all the way to the floor coming. So get yourselves ready.
Yeah. Busy times ahead. And I think we kind of covered all the aspects of this new moon. I think we did a good job there.
Yes.
So I guess I'll stop sharing the chart. I think we did all of the things that we wanted to talk about with this chart. So yeah, it is we're in that run up now. The race is starting to take off, and the athletes are picking up pace to get there.
Yes.
It's not a short distance sprint though. We're in a more of a long distance run. So we're really setting the groundwork here to what we want to build for the long term. So pull into what you believe, what you feel, what you want to connect with. and work with that energy.
And you know, I talked a lot about learning and communicating and things, but
Mhm.
you just hit on a key topic I wanted to talk about, and that is feel, right? Pisces asks you to feel. I think when you feel, you have your instinctual side now, driving who it is you are. So try to get out of your head to a degree and feel, as Emmeline just said, as that's what Pisces ask us to do. And I think that's the quest here moving forward. Get back into your instinctual side and let that be the driving force. I think feeling is going to be the key. And you may not understand, but that's part of it. But get to know it. That's why we talked earlier about finding who you are. So that's the perfect ending here, Emmeline, to remind others that it's the instincts here that we need to get us to a better future. And you know, that's what I'm doing. And Emily, I know you're doing it because I chat with you several times a week. So.
Let it go and grow.
Yes.
That just came to me about this chart. Let it go. Because with Pisces, what I always tell people is, you know, when you want to work with it, you know, if your North Node is there, for example, and you want to work with that Piscean energy, it's less about using the Virgo control. It's like letting go and just seeing how you can work with it to move forwards.
The universe is supporting us like it never has for us to get back our power that maybe we've relinquished over the last 248 years. So know that you're in line here and the universe is supporting. So let's get going.
So wishing you all a wonderful new moon in Pisces. And as always, if you have any questions, you can drop them in the comments below. If you like this video, click like, subscribe, and share with others as well. We'll
Yes,
be back
we do
again.
love that. We wish you the best. This is out a little early, so you'll have time to prepare, and
Yes.
hopefully you watch it a few times if you need to. So thank you for all that you've done. And thank you, Emily. Have a good fun time on your trip, by the way.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thanks, Jim. Another great video. We'll be back again. Hopefully early again. We're trying to get these out early, so we'll figure out a date to get the next one for you too.
Yes. Good. Well, take care.
Bye, everyone.